Hello, hello, hello! I am Kasasagi Usagi, and I am here with more Pillars of Eternity. I logged into this place. Well, first of all,
Oh? Looks a little healthier than before.
I don't believe I did any of the things that I said I was going to do, because first of all, I forgot. Second of all, I woke up feeling like the Sunday of a anime convention, despite the fact that I did nothing of the sort. So I'm a little out of it, and sleepy, and all sorts of other things. So I walked in and I saw the map and I was like, oh, that's right, we died. So I went to go fix that. And then I forgot that my party is the way it is and it's bad. And then I said that I would go back and I would get Aloth and then I would make up the the lost stuff that happened. I didn't actually do any of these things, but I am about to go get Aloth. Oh, speaking of, that man stays in prison. Oh, Aloth is just here in the library. They just hang out in here? Wait, hold on. Yeah, they all have their own rooms and stuff. That is so cool. Yeah, we haven't hung out with you in a hot minute, have we?
As a peripatetic loner, I'm not privy to the latest news, but the Hollowborn Children is a tale that has reached even my reclusive ears. Or we can speak another time.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not really actually that interested. Oh, this is so neat. Who's here then? I've lost track of all the party members I have. Oh, Grieving Mother! She's got a helmet on, so I didn't recognize.
Bearing questions, Watcher.
Sorry, Edelgard, I gotta go. I know her name is not actually Edelgard, but she doesn't have a real name, and her voice is Edelgard, so that's just what she is, and that's just who she'll always be. I'm very excited that Aloth is here. Do you not have a room? Are you someone who's always supposed to be with me? I'm sorry. I have learned my lesson, though. I will never leave you behind again. Leaving Aloth behind without our handy-dandy tentacles was what really doomed the whole thing. Now we can do anything. Alright. I'll see you later, alligator. It is a little sad that everyone is confined to a bedroom, but he's out in the library. Ugh.
Looks a little healthier than before.
Oh, I thought Durance was complaining again. I was like, please, sir. Oh, right, we need to go to the keep really quick. I don't know how many campfires I have, but I definitely want to fill up. Because even though we'll be grabbing Eloth, it's still gonna be hard. It's still gonna be difficult. So we'll need to rest a lot. It's this way. Oh, hello. You've come to beg my mercy. Hold on here. Don't want to do that. Wait, why is this man here? Are you my prisoner? Oh, it's a distant relative. I can't seem to actually do anything about you. I have some questions. I don't have any more questions. I will not let that man out of jail. I can't quite remember why. Oh, he killed a child.
How do you do?
How do I do? Yes, yes. Oh, I didn't mean to grab those. You know what? That's fine. Yes. Okay, got all our campfires. Let's see. And then as I leave, I'll be able to swap the party members out. I'm pretty sure. Yes, okay. So, because these two are part of the DLC, I actually don't want to abandon them, even though the monk is causing problems. So I'll swap out her
Gores.
for him. I could really use you too. If I could dismiss myself, I think I would. Yes. I think things will be better now. I think Eloth is really gonna save the day. My distant relative leaves the stronghold.
Adair, you were a military man. Ever consider making a career of it?
I did for a while. Then I heard you could make money shoveling pig shit. Thought that sounded better.
Well, at least it would get you out of the deerwood.
Yeah, I tried to talk to him. Oh, a distant relative of Aleph has arrived at the stronghold, requesting they be freed in exchange for coin. Oh, that's what that was. If only I had read. I wasn't gonna do that. Let me make sure. Oh, that's why things are probably not ideal. My tanks are in the back. There we go. That should be better.
Yes.
Oh, I don't recall seeing those ghosties before. Oh, yes, I do.
That caravan must have had a half-ton of steel. Coinmaster Zoltan's finally getting his way.
For now. The other commandants will have his head.
Only if they don't tear each other to pieces first. I heard Maroon and Exandru.
Last thing I want is to get on Maroon's bad side.
Fine, just say the words then. I'm getting hoarse.
Okay.
It definitely looks deserted.
Place the anvil relief in the tile. There's something else I need, apparently. Yeah, oh indeed. I don't know what it is, but we apparently weren't done here. This bridge was fine. What did I die to? It's like up here, I think. Yeah, I bet it was something like this. Okay. You will go and do this, and you will go and do this, and you will go and deal with this, or that. Hello, hello!
Hey.
We will solve our problems immediately and waste no time. Because it's always going to be tentacle time. Aloth is here and we no longer have anything to fear.
As one!
Well, Aloth, did you do anything that I told you to do? Nope. Good.
Hi.
I am doing okay. How are you doing? Oh. I brought you with so you would cast tentacles, and that everything would be happier, but you have done nothing of the sort. Thank you, goodness. She's about to go down. Oh no! That is not something you should do. Very naughty. We're all gonna die, I think. Yeah, that didn't go at all the way it needed to. I don't think we killed any of them. Okay. Let me think. Oh, that is good that you leveled up. Well, I got the rest of those points. I do need no more spells from you. No, it's not. You don't have to apologize. It's strategy. And I have none of that. Let's
Yes.
try that again. Before fussing with the door, actually, I think I will just go and try and fight. No, you guys are not in your correct positions again. You know that I don't like that.
Hmm?
Let's try this again. Oh. A man stands on the middle of the road without lowering his blade that rests on his shoulder. He takes 2 steps forward as if to speak for the group behind him. I was hoping for another gift bearer. They always carry surprises, and we love surprises. But we, of course, I mean me and this. The man taps the hilt of his sword. It'll be quick. Try and stay still. Oh. Well, alright. I guess we fightin'.
Hey, lava. Beyond seek.
Okay.
Hey. I will thank
Curses!
Yeah, it's okay.
That's not very helpful.
Hmm?
Well, that is a victory. Okay, we'll rest then, because that's a free campfire. Oh, Aleph has escaped the dungeons. I don't think there's anything I can do about that.
Oh? Oh?
Oh, indeed. I get a prison break. The road continues climbing for a short distance before turning sharply down into a pass beyond. Lifting up a corner of the trap reveals, a corner of the tarp reveals a jumble of rusted metal alongside the firewood. Oh, a man lives here, right? I needed to speak to a wizard? It's all coming back to me. Can I steal from this wizard? Oh, he does not seem to be in.
Now this I haven't seen before.
Oh, he's probably downstairs. This map depicts the peak of a mountain, which markers denoting altitudes. Feels bad. It's not considered stealing. This is just looting, I think. Because I don't get the punishing shifty eyes. Or the mask. That lets me know I'm doing a crime. Oh wait, no, there's gonna be traps everywhere. I can feel it in my bones.
Something over there.
Well, I was not wrong. God damn it.
Oh?
Now this I haven't seen before.
The fast mode is not helping me in here. I can guarantee that much. It's making me go too fast and walk over the traps. These crates hold innumerable discarded mechanical hinges, faceplates, and limbs. A gelatinous green film has congealed along the bottom of the shattered machine. No fast mode.
I'll see what's ahead.
Welcome back.
Oh?
Ooh.
Hey, you're not getting.
Aye? That's not very helpful.
I don't know. I don't know what the grading scale is. I always found myself doing better on tests. Fucking hell. Before you eat it, can you summon some tentacles for me?
Oh?
Watch on the wind feather yet!
You're not getting.
That's not very helpful.
Damn it! You gotta take.
I'm gonna take better care of Aloth. My headset's dying. So I need to pause it really quickly. There we go. There we go. Okay. And these things need to attack.
Better Carabella.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Oh. Spot on.
There we go.
What?
Why can't you undo that trap? It's only gonna cause problems for us.
Margaren's fire casts light in dark places.
I'm shocked that you
Tell me.
can't deal with this.
Aye?
Okay, everybody.
Hey,
Well,
What?
don't walk on it.
Yes.
That is my
Oh.
deepest concern.
Margaren's fire casts light in dark places. Now this I haven't seen.
That's it. Leave it to me.
Well, I was trying to avoid that specifically, but sometimes the traps just don't show up.
I fear we've lost the
Holy crap.
Angry one. Ah, Ulu Sen.
Oh, I didn't need to summon those. It all somehow worked out anyway.
I can get it to spill its secrets. It's done.
Can you? You're not the one that does that stuff. Although I like the sassy way you said that. The mannequin's head has been all but seared away by some unknown spell. The wood is warped and pitted through. Oh wait, I want to read that note.
Oh.
Yes, I do. Oh, it's in here somewhere. I think it's like this. This discarded note reads, Machado, 3 weeks of hard work and gone, and fully articulated frame with them. These crude materials are more unstable than expected, though no less expensive. I will try a slower process. More electricity, perhaps. Along the bottom of the page, a scrawled addendum reads, Too much electricity. Will require more subjects. Oh, we do not want to be in this
Yes.
man's house.
Certainly.
Why are all
As you
animancers
say.
like this? They're just
Not
constantly
a sound.
doing the
Oh.
bad stuff.
keeping an eye out.
Yeah, guys? Why is my dude not picking up traps anymore? He seems no longer interested in that field of work. Ooh, keys. Oh, we will camp then, since there is one here. There is secrets here. 100%. This bookshelf moves. Like, that's just probably not on this side, though. Camping it is. Elif.
Yes.
Well, I guess we don't need to... Oh. That's because you're over here for. No, that's not you.
Margaren's fire casts light in dark places.
Don't touch it. Alright, through this door. Oh, it's very metal. Oh, and it died very quickly. Yeah, I got a couple more of these notes. I gotta read them properly. The hastily written entry is dotted with blots of ink. I refuse to continue wasting my time with these sketchwork grotesqueries. What work is spent in granting the rotting corpse the feeblest spark of life is later tripled in repairs. Truly, they come apart at the seams. The sight of them in the corridors has come to disgust me. They hold nothing of the subject's vitality, intelligence, coordination, only a brute obedience. Flesh has too gentle a grasp upon the essence, that much is clear. Little wonder the fools of Brackenbury were willing to pawn these sorry specimens off so cheaply. But shadow the stench. The paper contains a loose list of apparent personages separated by dates. Goderdrang, Logwidge Falls, bandit. Messawig Imperia, some smuggler. Foldesac, murderer, nice hair. Rastinzeldag, idiot who tried to knife me. Under the list is a note in a different hand. Diverses devil, just give me numbers.
Laying low.
We have come to, as they say, the bad place.
Now this I haven't seen before.
Well. Welp.
You're not getting through me.
I think I accidentally set off that trap while.
Keeping an eye out.
Yeah, that's
Certainly.
okay. It do be like that. A vicious green liquid seeps from a crack in the glass tank. It exudes a strong chemical odor that is almost painful to inhale. That's a fake wall.
Now this I haven't seen before.
I don't think I feel bad robbing this man anymore. Hi.
Hey.
You repeat all I say. All I say.
Oh, they're talking. And it talks in like a really weird, upsetting way. Oh.
Text.
Not even blowing it.
Oh?
Let us end this!
You hear a faint, reedy voice singing tunelessly. Subject Balser. She has outdone herself with this one, Balser. A common robber with some natural talent for cipher abilities. It has gone to his head. The Bauzo believes he is the next Antonado. I think in any case the world would well be rid of him. Still, he has yielded promising results. His mind is almost perfectly intact. I might even have been able to determine whether there is merit in his illusions about soul lineage, but I made the foolish mistake of leaving the man's pistol on my work table. His essence is bound to the weapon. Rather than the body, I undertook to build for him. Even bodiless, this fool seeks to trouble me. I have sealed him within one of the tanks. I will have to proof the machines against this free-roaming experiments while I think of a solution. Until then, I suppose I must endure the company while I work. Lever seems to be locked in place for the moment. Yeah. Yeah.
Don't even. I am free. Galvino, I will eat your heart, old man.
How bad?
Not even slowing it down.
The ghosts are immune to tentacles.
Yes.
That's the most tragic thing I've ever read. Thanks for the pistol.
Yes?
The tufts of hair are still sunk to the metal slits in this helmet. You spy dark smudges along the edges of the manacles. Sparks scroll over wires and plates of this machine, illuminating the innards with each burst of light.
Yes.
Laying low.
Nope, Barry, you
Yes.
have to come.
Not even.
That's it!
Oh. Hmm?
And what does the flame reveal?
I tried to. Okay, you know what? It's fine.
Keeping an eye out.
See now what the flame has shown us?
He can't do it, huh? He knocked his ear so hard.
Yes. Ulu.
Oh, well.
That's it!
Crumpled experimental notes. This crumpled piece of parchment was found jammed inside the faceplate of a construct. My efforts to instill even a child's intelligence into these creations have all failed. Most cannot hold a quill, and much less set thoughts to paper. I believed for some time that Subject 63 might have had a breakthrough during his lessons, but I discovered that it has simply been repeating my words without comprehension. These were not enlightened characters while they wrote their original skins. Perhaps their essence lacks a fundamental capacity for learning. I have put them to the test in more martial arts, but here too they falter without the benefit of true sentience. The devil, of course, delights in mocking them. It is like boasting of besting children in combat. If only I had my old machines.
Yes.
That's it!
Hmm? Certainly.
Step lightly.
I should have the workshop key. I have many keys to this place. Oh boy. You have a portrait. Am I about to... An elderly man hunches over a cluttered desk in the back of the workshop. His flesh is pulled tightly around thin, fragile-looking bones, except around his neck, where it hangs in loose waddles. He turns as you enter, a scowl already chiseled on his lined face.
Back again? I told you.
He hesitates, squinting at you from behind smudged and dusty spectacles.
Of course, a fresh fool to replace the last fools. What brings you stomping through my workshop, eh?
He draws his words out, looking you up and down. A sneer creeps along his face. Hey, I got questions about Durgan's battery and the White Forge.
Straight to business, no nonsense. We appreciate that, don't we?
He turns to the bronze golem over his shoulder.
Anything for a breather from your endless yammering.
The voice echoes from within the golem. I've got a fancy for this one already.
Hear that, Timora? Another who would tolerate your barbs and insults.
Anyhow.
But you come seeking the White Forge, like they all do. Boys with smooth cheeks and wild dreams. Girls with bright ribbons tied next to their scabbards.
His voice rises and falls with a sing-song of mockery.
Old men and women, too, seeking a final blaze of glory before they're snuffed out for another turn at the wheel. Sound familiar?
His smile is rigid as he looks at you, and the corner of his eye twitches. That's a lot of bitterness. Maybe I should ask you the same thing.
Save your breath.
He hawks a... Oh, gross. He hawks a wad of phlegm from the back of his throat and spits into the corner.
I have this conversation with every pig-headed swashbuckler those Postanagos and stalwarts send here. Go see Garvino, they say. Surely he'll help you.
Must have slipped their minds what a busy and important fellow you are.
In the silence that follows, the temperature in the room seems to drop. Galvano glares at her.
I should have let them stone you. Would have silenced your endless rattling forever.
The hanging folds of skin beneath his neck tremble.
Then you'd have naught but those frostbitten inbreds for company.
I guess this is what it'd be like if Aleth and Islamir were two separate people. Come now, I sound nothing like either of them. Focus, please. Uldrich said you could help me.
Ah, the only one young enough to have any sense. And since his mother runs that town now, who am I to argue?
He laughs bitterly.
The villagers and their adventurers hammer and pry at the battery as if they were laying siege to some moldering lord's keep.
He swats the air in front of his face.
But those stones were laid by some of the finest builders ever to have lived. Disciples of Abidan in the truest sense. They will not fall by the whims of any kith. And the door itself, it is infused with living essence.
He holds his hands before him, and his eyes are wide with wonder. The dwarves themselves must have had a way of getting in.
Perfetto! This is the crux of the matter.
He claps his hands together.
The Parkrunen of Durgan's battery perished within their own keep. victims of a violent disagreement among their own commandants.
His mouth twists into a wicked grin.
Surely in the village you have heard stories, no? Disappearing caravans, tracks in the snow, screams from the high towers.
He pauses, watching your expression with a renconter's glee.
The work of spirits still trapped in the battery, and a testament to those impenetrable walls.
He raps on the mortared stone of his own home.
But the door of the keep, the one the Pargrunen filled with essence, it was made to listen, to recognize its masters.
So I need the door to recognize me.
Traditional Optopo cultures revolved around language. Words revealed who they were and where they were from. That is why you need a Kantek.
What's a Kantek?
Some liken it to a poem, others to an anthem. In reality, it is more than either.
He holds out one hand, turning it this way and that in a balancing motion.
A Kantek is a statement of purpose, a declaration of identity. Each is unique to its stronghold.
Ha! Seal your door with a key of words, and any liar can walk his way through. There's nothing built of words that won't break when the slightest stress is applied.
Thus, to enter a fortress like Durgan's battery, you would stand at the gate and recite its Kantek.
He spreads his arms, his face aglow. Very well. Where would I learn this Kantek?
To learn the Kantek, you must speak with one of the dwarves of Durgan's battery. A shame they are all dead, no?
He rubs his hands together, pacing.
But no doubt their souls live on in one or two of the villagers of Stalwart. Like fine wine poured into a cheap pot.
Denson curls his lips.
But to identify them, that is the first problem. You would need the skills of an animancer.
I am a watcher. The golem swivels her head simply towards you. Her mask of a face and the glass behind it betray no emotion, but it seems she is watching you carefully.
A watcher? Diverus? If this is true, then you could find a sole descendant from Durgan's battery, no question. But the greater difficulty remains.
Galvano rubs his gaunt, whiskered cheeks.
You would have to learn the Kantek from the dormant soul. And to do that, you would have to awaken it.
But this awakening would be permanent, wouldn't it?
Oh, yes. Whoever you awaken will live with the memories and the personality of a past life. Maybe peacefully, maybe not.
His bony shoulders rise in a shrug.
That is why you must pay attention to the soul you would awaken, no? It is a monumental thing to impose on another, but these are the very people who wish to rediscover the White Forge, Verus?
He removes his spectacles and polishes the dirty lenses with his tunic. Awaken someone. How would I do that?
An awakening is merely the jolting of a dormant soul into consciousness.
He makes a bursting motion with his hands, splaying his fingers wide.
When such things happen normally, it is because something has reminded the subject of a past life, often violently so.
He smacks his workbench with surprising vigor. Eloth flinches.
Thus, to awaken one of the former dwarves of Durgan's battery, you will need to address that soul, and preferably by name.
He folds his hands together, steepling his fingers.
But show some care. When you examine these souls, whatever it is you watchers do, you may see images, memories.
He leans forward, his back hunched.
These are moments of special import. What you see will tell you much about the person, and perhaps the condition in which they awaken.
He raises his hoary eyebrows and tilts his head back.
Awaken them from a traumatic memory, and who knows? Maybe they awaken thirsty for blood. Or maybe you awaken someone else.
He cackles again. Kasasagi, you mustn't do this. To condemn another to the fate like Marwold's. He shakes his head.
Here. This has been tuned to the Aeon of Durgan's battery. Use it near the villagers, and it should tell you if one has a soul old enough to have come from the battery.
He rummages around and produces an unfamiliar device. So the Kantik is all I need.
Who can say? None have yet opened Durgan's battery.
Galvano raises his hands, palms up.
But the ones that came before you, I think they got close. You may wish to find them and see what they discovered.
Where would they be?
I have not seen them since they first came to see me several weeks ago. But word has reached my ears that they crossed an ogre matron.
Oh, that's right. His mouth twists into a wry line. I see. Thank you for your help.
You have much work ahead of you. As do I.
He nods and turns his back to the desk.
I'm going with her.
Oh. The golem looks between you, her neck turning on its oiled joint.
You? Go to Stalwart? Is this your macabre sense of humor, or has something gone to rust in that beautiful head I crafted?
Galvino stares at her agape.
No one will bother me while I'm with her. Besides, I can help her find people in Stalwart.
The golem's varnished face is eerily impassive.
You haven't been to Stalwart in 13 years. And this Watcher sees souls. What help could you be? Besides, I have need of you here. You owe whatever remains of your wicked life to me.
A frown sours on his lips, and he taps his chest with a crooked finger. The golem says nothing, but her essence smolders. Resentment rises from her in shimmering waves. She swivels her head to look at you. I'd like her to travel with me.
Quay? No. You don't know what you ask.
He shakes his head, waving his hands.
This woman, the Devil of Karek, she was a notorious murderer. Burned people alive all over the region.
Yes. This matters not.
Besides, she works for me. After all, I am the one who preserved her.
He straightens his back and looks you up and down, taking your measure. I'll pay you.
She's a valuable assistant, and one I've worked hard to create. I must seek payment for her services. I'm sure you understand.
$700? That ain't nothing. It's a deal.
Fine price for a blacksmith striker. Suppose I should be flattered.
And there you have it. A bargain.
Boy, oh boy. What do you do? I don't want to get rid of Aloth again. We have learned our lesson about that. Are you a tank? Hello? Are you a tank? I definitely need a cleric. The day is going alright. How is your day going? I wish I could... The Devil of Karak. Am I actually... Do I have the...
See you when I see you.
Very well.
Oh no, I could have...
Hey.
Zawa is ready.
Actually, you need to
Very
leave.
well.
I've had
You
enough of
can
you.
trust me.
I know, I feel like he's important, but he's so useless out here. Okay. And there you have it. A bargain. He gives you a sardonic grin.
A moment. You are going back to Stalwart, yes? Perhaps you could do me a favor.
Tell me about this favor.
There is a man in the village named Grinde, the head fisherman.
Oh boy.
The rest of Stalwart kisses his feet because he fills their stinking blades with speckleback. But I know he's not as virtuous as he seems.
Seems like you have a history with
That
Grenade.
self-righteous meddler engineered my eviction from the village. He turned them all against me.
Did he?
Now I want him to feel the scorn of those mush-brained imbeciles.
Oh my god, what do you want me to do to him?
Humiliate him, of course.
Ugh.
Show his neighbors what he truly is. And let him live with the disgrace.
He points vaguely in the direction of the village, his thin arm trembling.
He's always been a ripple sponge addict. Just got good at hiding it once his sainted sister died and left him in charge of the fishery. But he keeps a stash in the fishery. Sneaks in at night when the others have gone home, and emerges sluggish and red-eyed a few hours later.
I don't see why this isn't...
I want you to expose him. Go to the fishery after dark when it's empty. Find his ripple sponge and show it to Renengild.
Oh, it's sleep for you. Oh.
Do not answer me now. But when you return to that festering eyesore and smell the stink of fish that hangs in the air, consider what I've said.
He grins.
Besides, you appreciate a good joke, don't you? De Verus, this will be a great one. But be sure to approach the fishery by night, when it's empty. They will give you no end of trouble if they see you stealing during the day.
I had questions about the Devil of Karak.
As must the gods themselves.
He looks to the ceiling and opens his hands. The golem says nothing, but her essence smolders. Resentment rises from her in shivering waves. She swivels her head to look at you. What is the story between you two?
This charming specimen is a convicted murderer. The Devil of Carrick, she's called.
Mighty fine of you to start with my good qualities, and you wonder why we don't get more visitors.
Killed over a dozen people before they finally caught up to her in Stalwart. Perfect company for lonely camps and mountain passes, no?
He nudges you, all the while grinning wickedly at the motionless golem.
Hey, I know how to start a campfire.
Yeah, me too.
The only reason she's not a frozen corpse is because I convinced the old mayor to let me try an experiment.
A shadow passes over his face. You put a person's soul into a metal body. He leans back, raising his hands.
Into a work of art! Look at this! Craftsmanship worthy of a jeweler!
He traces the scrollwork that runs along the golem's jaw.
Fully articulated joints, capable of grasping a pen and writing her own name.
Oh. Oh, a raid! Thank you so much! Agent Zeb? That is very sweet of you. He grabs her hand and delicately bends her tapered fingers.
And of crushing your throat.
She snatches her hand away.
Show me another smith anywhere in the Deerwood who is capable of such delicacy and precision. She is a masterpiece.
My chat isn't scrolling anymore. Hello, and thank you. Why did you build her?
Why build a fortress or a village or anything? To make something that keeps, that...
A disgusted sigh rattles in his throat. Yeah, it's really, really good. I'm currently doing the DLC, The White March, before heading into the 3rd chapter. Thank you for the follow. Before heading to the 3rd chapter of the story, the main story. So it's very good. It's very good. I enjoyed it a lot.
It was the early days of the Legacy. My peers in the colleges of Animancy were filling the Hollowborn with the souls of animals.
He pauses, scratching his chin. You're right. By comparison, that sounds perfectly sane. He rolls his eyes.
I thought there was a better way.
He is silent for several seconds, his gaze growing distant.
One with a Plum Academy job back in Salona. Don't forget that part.
Oh, I did that super late. I did it after I finished a whole bunch of stuff. But good night, and thank you so much for stopping by. I'll have to check out and see how what kind of choices you make. Especially when you hit Defiance Bay, so I'm very curious. Why is she called the Devil of Karak?
She committed her first crime in the village of Karak. Burned a family alive in their home.
He shrugs.
Did the same thing in half a dozen other villages, but the name stuck.
I take it your experiment didn't go over well with the rest of the village.
Here we go.
She rolls her eyes, rasping them against their sockets.
They were going to stone her anyway. Why not allow her to be put to some useful purpose?
Oh, Aoths. I guess you'll get some good dialogue choices then. I'm a Godkin ranger, so like a lot of like the god stuff and like when they're talking about Margarin and some of the others, I'm like, yeah, all those answers are blocked out because I am not religious enough to participate in the conversation. His lips curl back from yellowing teeth.
My life's ambition. To serve somebody's useful purpose.
I approached Mayor Sinehiod and begged. He saw the potential and allowed me the privilege of attempting my little experiment.
He sneers at the words and the indignity they recall. His shoulders are stooped and his teeth bared.
Then, I accomplished what few animancers have even dreamed of. No academic support, no patron. Just me in the middle of nowhere.
He jabs a finger into his concave chest.
Oh, now you got him all wound up.
I transferred a fully intact soul from a living subject to a fabricated body. She retained her personalities, her memories, all of it.
He claws at the air with one thick veined hand. It was. The game continues to be so good with those kinds of like settings and whatnot, so I hope you like it.
Yet the villagers saw only a stolen corpse.
He throws up his hands. Aren't you afraid she'll murder you?
She may be mad, but she's no fool. She wouldn't survive long on her own. If the villagers didn't send a hunting party after her, the Eremans would claim her. Her joints and mechanisms require maintenance, and she cannot perform all of it herself.
See, he's reminding me. In case I get any bright ideas.
That's all I wanted to know.
She's a fine specimen, her personality notwithstanding.
He waves one hand in a circular motion. Enough about her. Let's discuss
Something
another
else?
matter.
Quay.
I don't need to know anything about this. Oh, I wanted to know more about the expeditioners who came to you before.
As would I, but there is little to tell. They never gave their names.
Good night. He tugs at his whiskers.
But they seem to know more about the battery than the others, which is unusual because they did not seem like typical adventurers.
He raises his snowy eyebrows.
Their hands were smooth and marked with ink, not scars, and they traveled light. Unusually so.
He rubs at his chin. Unusual indeed. What do you suppose they were looking for?
Val himself could not have said, and I haven't the time to concern myself with the business of strangers.
What were those constructs I encountered in your workshop?
Other projects, they are none of your concern.
He waves a hand and looks so quickly away from you. You seem pretty eager to change the subject. He mutters furiously under his breath, raising his hands to the ceiling.
For years I've been trying to create another like the Devil of Carrick. Yet those post-Enagos in Stalwart destroyed my machinery.
His drooping skin trembles in his rage.
Now, I can only create these broken, mindless things. The Devil remains my most perfect creation.
His lips twist with the taste of something bitter. Wait, where have you found these souls to create these other golems?
Smugglers, slavers, fugitives, the kind of riffraff that pass this way. Rarely missed, and good work to keep my little devil busy.
He shrugs. Why do you need more golems?
I can't present the Devil of Carrick to the academies, can I? A mad woman and a murderer? No. I need to bring a success to the Republics.
He rubs his hands together, frowning. Well, I've heard enough, and I'm done with you.
Yes.
Right here.
The black marbles of her eyes scrape against their sockets as she looks at you. Galvino said you murdered several people before he transferred you.
Effigy's eyes, that man loved to talk.
Her eyes roll in their sockets. Tell me why you killed those people.
If it's sane and logical reasoning you're wanting, you're gonna be disappointed. Ain't no sense in any of it.
I've heard parts of your story from others, but I'd rather hear the rest from you. A soft hissing noise escapes from the bronze golem. You recognize it as a sigh.
Mayhap you've heard of Coldmore. Was a quiet, forgettable patch of the woods. Till a pack of rabid clodhoppers set it afire.
The fingers of one hand twitch and click against one another in a pair of sudden spastic motions.
That was the start of the purges. Dear Woodens killing their own.
You're upset. A sudden burst of heat flares from her seams as her essence surges and boils.
A farmer on the other side of the mountains woke up one day with his head all aflame and took it for the gibbering speech of his god. And so did a few thousand of his countrymen. So when he tired of Vorlus fields and marched west, a horde of armed Hicks followed.
It is called The Pillars of Eternity, and it is a sort of strategy game, and it is very good. You make choices. You have it's kind of D&D-ish with you have stats, and you put certain stats into things, so you can only like ask certain questions if you have a high enough lore, or see, I can't ask any of these questions because I'm not a clergyman and my lore stat isn't high enough. What do you mean?
Saint Widwin and his blazing crusade.
No.
Celebrated his coup in Raid Ceres by invading the Deerwood.
I do not believe so.
Most of his forces headed north to Helgot Citadel, but a lucky few thousand ventured through the mountains. Through Cold Morn. We let him pass.
You were from Cold Morn? When I heard what happened out there after the war, I couldn't believe my ears.
Fine line between couldn't and wouldn't.
Why didn't you try and stop the Red Sarens?
They had us clean beaten numbers. Even bumpkins like us figured that.
Oh, that's okay. I hope your new job is going well.
Just look at Mercy Vale. They fought back. And now there ain't one stone standing atop another in the whole village.
She sweeps one bronze palm across another, metal screeching.
Besides, we asked the Duke for help. Told him Widewind's troops was coming through the mountains. Seems he had better uses for his soldiers.
That is true. Endurance sure does exist in this game. She crosses her arms over her plated chest.
So we let Widewind's soldiers pass. Left him for the Duke to wrangle on his own terms.
You hear a soft clink as she flicks her wrist. So Cold Morn was purged in retaliation.
It was after the Godhammer made a fine grit out of Widewind, when Deerwoodens were running on rage and looking for something to burn.
You catch glimmers and glints in her seams as razor-thin wires pull tight within her body.
They came at dark. Hundreds of folk. Every one of them mourning someone lost in the war.
A dry chuckle ticks in her throat.
Must have decided it was our duty to escort their dead back to the wheel. They didn't light their torches till they had us surrounded. Time we saw them, there was a ring of fire closing around us.
She pauses, and a mechanism in the back of her skull clicks dully.
I woke. Ran to the window. Whole village were a maze of flames. Couldn't see nothing for the smoke. And the screams.
Her thumb spasms to a strange rhythmic beat.
Most ran for the streets. Got caught by the mob. Others hid, let their houses burn down around them.
I'm sorry, that's terrible.
You're the only person in the Deerwood who thinks so. Me, I'm surprised the Duke didn't make our massacre a festival day.
What does that have to do with your crimes?
Hunting down the men and women what took part. Thought that much was clear.
You couldn't have hoped to get them all.
Well, we just gotta do our best with what time the gods give us, don't we?
She barks with jangling laughter. What exactly did you hope to accomplish? Oh, wait. But you only killed the people who attacked Cold Morn, right?
Sure.
Oh, her voice is flat and as expressionless as her face.
You want me to tell you straight? I found the men and women what destroyed my village, and I burned their houses down around them. Sometimes they was alone, and sometimes they wasn't.
She shrugs. What exactly did you hope to accomplish?
It were a mob that destroyed our village. But it was just one man that burned my family's house. Kept hoping I'd get to him as I was working my way through the rest of those maggots. No matter now, I suppose.
A sigh rattles out of her bronze skull, and her essence whips and twitches as restless as a cat's tail. You and Galvano have an unusual relationship.
Only kind to have with someone like him. Or me.
You resent him?
No other way to feel about the man who flayed my living soul.
That's fair. Metal squeals as she shifts her folded arms. How long have you two known each other?
Around about 13 years. Too long, you ask me.
He claims he made you.
He'd spread butter on bread and claim he made something. Never been accused of modesty, that man.
Her eyes roll wildly.
He managed to stuff my soul into this heap of bronze, true enough. Maybe that makes him a genius. Also makes him a son of a bitch.
She drums her fingers along one scratched bicep. Did you ever consider murdering him?
Every day. Just kept putting it off. It's not like either of us was going anywhere.
What exactly did you do for him? She regards you for several seconds, and then she shrugs.
Looked after his tools, cleaned the workshop, swung the sledgehammer. Oh, and snatched up travelers for his soul tinkering.
Those other golems, you mean?
But don't you worry. They were all bad folk.
Thank you for telling me.
Just so you know, you got a real professional working for you.
Let's talk about something else.
Yeah, I've had enough of him too.
Why did you want to come with me?
Stalwart's great this time of year. Beareth spells in bloom for a good 5 days, and the mountain squall actually blows the fish stench away from town.
She turns away, clacking the fingers of one hand against her palm.
Better than staying at Galvino's, anyway.
Aloth arches an eyebrow and leans close. I've lived with secrets long enough to know when someone's hiding something. Yeah, you think, Aloth? I get the feeling you're not welcome in Stalwart.
I got a reputation. People in these little villages ain't the most open-minded.
Did you murder someone here?
Not yet.
You answered me pretty quickly. Something you're not telling me?
Plenty.
Cool.
But nothing you need to know.
She turns away. Right. I'm supposed to believe you came all the way to Stalwart 13 years ago for the scenery.
Believe what you want. I killed a lot of folk, but none of them was in Stalwart.
I'd rather discuss another matter. About Durgan's battery.
Just 'cause I made of metal don't mean I got any special fondness for smiths and forges.
She flicks the bronze of her forearm, producing a dissonant ring. Do you know anything about it?
No more'n what Galvino already told you.
Any thoughts on which villagers I should check?
For fancy dwarven poetry? None of them ever struck me as especially literate.
So whichever you
can stand to get close to.
She shrugs with a rattling of metal.
And that's on you. I lost my sense of smell 13 years ago.
Do you remember any of the other expeditions that came to Galvino?
Nothing specific. Everyone looks about the same when they got their fingers up their noses.
She pauses thoughtfully, then her head snaps forward in a tiny quick movement of realization.
Only the last group, one before you, there was something different about them.
3 of her fingers clench in spasm.
Couldn't put my finger on it, but they was dangerous. Almost felt the hair on the back of my neck.
She runs her hand along the smooth, segmented bronze of her neck.
Ain't felt that way about anyone else walking through Galvino's door, that's for sure. Murder, tracking, and the best materials for kindling. Those are more my area of expertise.
What was your life like before the Saints' War?
There weren't much to say about it. By my reckoning, that means it was pretty good.
She nods thoughtfully.
Ma was a trapper, taught me to set snares and dress game. Dad was a tinker. I never had his patience, but it were fun to watch him work. My brothers and sister, they was good folk too. Part of me's glad they ain't here to see me now.
Her face is as blank as ever, but her essence ebbs and writhes. She turns away. Alright.
Oh?
Oh, wait, can I just take things? Are you gonna be cool about that? I'm taking things. He's not gonna stop me. I'm just borrowing it. Thank you. This appears to be a crude rendering of the mountains surrounding Durgan's battery. What do you do? What's your story? The Devil of Karg. Yeah, but what do you do? Oh, you're a trapper.
Okay.
Is there anything else I need to look at in here? Yeah, there's one last passageway. Oh, nobody else came with. That's fine.
Hmm? Hmm?
Oh, there's 2 doors I haven't gone through. Well, this one's a fake wall, so I have to go through this one. Make her a dual wielder. Uh-oh. Ha! Your money or your life, friend! A tiny voice rises from within the chest of the headless machine. From time to time, a burst of sparks accompanies the rattling of its innards. Excuse me? Got a little lost, did we? There's a toll on these roads. 500 copper, or you'll have a new set of nostrils to breathe out of. The construct's arms twitch spasmodically on its sides. We're not on the road. You really are lost. Tell you what, pay up, and I'll point you to the log home. That's a decent trade, isn't it? You're in a cell. Look around you. A philosopher, is it? All of us are trapped within the cages of our own iniquity. I'll have none of that. There's a manic quality to the voice now, and you hear a harsh metallic whine from within the construct's frame. I've come to help you. You're free of this place. Free? What do you want about? Just look at yourself. You're a broken machine. You use some very particular insults, I have to say. Even so, you'll regret those words. I have people saying I've gone soft, can't I? The construct suddenly lifts sideways, arms akimbo. Huh? That's odd. I swear I had my knife. I've always been very good with knives. Her voice takes on an edge of panic. Where are my hands? Where am I? What is happening? There is a sudden harsh metallic squeal, and the construct pulses with a fierce light as it lurches towards you. Well,
That's it!
we don't want this. Hold on, everybody. There we go.
The devil went down!
Did she really?
Certainly.
Oh, fragile little thing she is. How do I get over there? Probably maybe later? It's gonna have to probably be a later thing, I guess. Well, that was all very exciting. I've robbed this man about as blind as I could have. So, mission accomplished. This class is broken again, huh? That she is. Well, nothing I can do about that. Nothing forward but to go back, I suppose. Hello. Hello there. Always good to see more kith on the road. You can relax for the time being. Ingot here will let me know if any ogres come up on us. I'll have to be heading down to the mountain soon, but I've still got some supplies if you need anything. Who are you? Name's Targanar. I come up to Stalwart sometimes to trade. Nothing fancy like Yulden has, just supplies, ingredients. Come to get some air after the raid. Never been much for one of the towns. Do you know anything about the bandits in the area? Sure do. Most of the caravans have to take one road down into the pass. Group of bandits set up shop just north of here before the bend. They'll just take a toll on good. They'll just take a toll on good days. You had most others. I keep clear of them myself and don't usually come down the mountain. Let me see what you have for sale. Oh no. I am a ranger. Go to the north of the northeastern part of this map. There is an isolated building. You'll find part of the Stormcaller there. Thank you, sir. Oh, interesting. Well, this was Galvino's house. Oh, good night, good night. Thank you for the tip. I don't think so. I definitely enjoy it. If you like strategy and RPG, it's very good. Oh, these are some angry deer. I guess we're gonna be fighting deer. Okay. Oh, Elf's gotta stay.
Like an adherent to go down.
Oh.
Right here. Sure.
Oh?
Durance never finishes the line, but whenever Aloth goes down, he says something super rude. Just like an Adairan to go down fast. me think. I would give it a solid 7, I
I
think.
think I'd miss this place. Had that much right.
I'd give it a solid 7 because, there's definitely, it's definitely a little janky. There are some things that I wish combat was better. I know that's not the point. The combat's the way it is, but I wish it was a little bit better, a little more, it feels hectic to me, and I don't particularly like it, but that's a personal preference. Everything's really beautiful. Sometimes the controls are a little finicky, and I guess, the voice acting gets a little samey. I've heard, Matt Mercer in here, like, as 6 different characters, and he's not hard to find. Yeah, your companions all have, like, the robot is the same as somebody else. I just wish it was a little more varied, or, like, the voices were a little more obviously not the same characters. That sort of grates on my nerves a little bit. But I really like it. It's a good story. I'm really curious to see where it goes. So, for that alone, if the game's got a good, solid story, it's usually more than
Village
enough.
was a touch livelier when I saw it last. Ain't saying much, though.
Oh, no, don't apologize. What do you remember about Stalwart?
Bitter cold and a persistent odor of fish. And that were just the people.
Of course. Why did you want to come back anyway?
Anything's better than Galvino's workshop. You ain't heard the old buzzard sing.
She turns away again.
Anyway, what about you? We seen lots coming through, trying to crack the battery, but no watchers.
She looks back at you, her black eyes glittering. Oh, thank you for the follow. There's a group that passed through before me. I need to know what they were after.
Ah, looking for someone. That's a familiar yarn.
She nods slowly, rocking her head on broad, steady shoulders.
But don't let me keep you from the sights and sounds of Stalwart. They're easy to miss.
She rests her hands on her hips and turns around to look. I want to ask you about something else. Apparently I do not. But thank you.
Oh?
So what am I supposed to be doing here? Back up here. Oh, we're still working on that. I met Granite, the head fisherman of Stalwart. He's a gruff fellow and he seems like he takes a lot of pride. Okay. I picked up a piece of a helm. Okay. You're the Sisterhood of the Slacked Skull. Oh, I bet they're in that one place that was very difficult for me. A group of radicals calling themselves the Gleaming Society have been targeted, assassinating political figures in both Direwood and Red Saris. Bounty has been put on the head of the leader, Omar. There are rumors that the Gleaming Society has taken refuge in the White Marsh to lay low before the next attack. Some say they can be found around Longwitch Falls. Okay, that's all Longwitch Falls. Durance, Cadnua, Persoc, Gina, Mary Mother. Can't do that. Put Hall. A cave behind the waterfall. I have to go back and figure that out. Keep an eye on the Devil of Carrick. Okay. Okay, so there's actually, the only thing I can
Yes.
do is search for villagers.
So, you're back. What can I do for you?
Oh, you're an asshole. I remember you. Read his soul. The snowy paths peel away, and the brisk air gives way to the acrid stench of smoke. A dark cloud billows up from the remnants of a burning house at the far edge of a rocky field. You are low to the ground, held in place, and above you the wind tugs embers back and forth like firebugs. The vision in your left eye
Not
is...
so brave now, are you?
Oh. The vision in your left eye is clouded, but such that the figure standing over you is a collection of rough smelters of black, cast in silhouette by the fire. Not so brave are you! A dark shape swings toward your face, and the subsequent burst of energy jars you out of the memory and back into your own skin. You got the look of someone with her teeth around a secret. Her cold fingers are locked around your arm. Her black eyes searches you.
I wouldn't call it a secret. It's more like a mysterious thing he doesn't like to talk about.
What? Did I spill something on myself?
Rayford looks down at his clothing. Nope, you're not the man I'm looking for.
You find anything? Hate to think of those slimy bastards carrying my haul into a freezing hole somewhere.
In front of you, Farrah's swaddled hands work quickly to bundle and tie a parcel. With you are a man and another woman, both similarly occupied. The three of you stand in a small hut. It's nearly bare, but for the rickety table before you and 3 cheap cots piled with furs. The man hefts his parcel like something rare and precious. The lad...
That's the last of them.
Oh.
Check the rest of the supplies while I load these.
He disappears through a door and into a howling gale. The door swings shut with a loud clap.
You sure about the route?
The other woman, Francisca, looks up at you. Her face is mostly covered by a fur hat and several layers of thick knit handkerchiefs, but her voice is clear enough.
Not much choice. Snows have covered most of the other passes. This one gets just enough traffic to stay open.
You feel the answer ring out of your own throat. The thought doesn't bring either of you much comfort. You don't mention the real issue, which is that Liam's made up his mind. Francesca stares at you for several seconds, apparently thinking the same thing. You can't see her expression clearly enough to tell whether she's resigned to preparing an argument. She shoves out the door without another word. Farrah stands in front of you, distracted with the contents of her mug. She doesn't seem to have noticed your momentary lapse.
You find anything? Hate to think of those slimy bastards carrying my haul into a freezing hole somewhere.
Not yet. Read Andrensoul. A handful of memories dart across your mind like startled fish, leaving indistinct images and sounds in their wake. For a moment you are overwhelmed until one particular recollection tugs at your senses with stubborn force. You, or Andred, or both, kneel on a stone floor, held between 2 men. The man pacing in front of you wears armors of a crucible knight, and you feel Andred's half-hearted contempt for him as if it were your own. You feel Andred's triumph, too, when the knight comes just close enough for you to spit blood on his boots. The memory slips away from you, and you find yourself back in your own shoes. The whiff of salt and brine in your nostrils before the room has even faded. The ground heaves beneath your feet, and a spray of ocean roars across over the railing as the ship heels under the wind. The ship shudders violently, and you are thrown against the railing. In that moment, you find your gaze pulled into the pitching surface of the dark sea, and see that there's an eye, broad as a shield, gazing back at you in turn. Fear and fascination sweep through your mind, even as your senses recede and the memory fades.
Hello, ma'am. Anything I can do for you?
Nope.
Hey.
Hey.
Uh-huh.
Back to warm your hands, eh? What can I do for you?
You see a room dark and damp, a cellar. It looks like part of the inn rather than the old fortress. Though Hadfric's eyes, you admires row of gleaming bottles recently dusted and polished. As you step back from the shelves, you look on with satisfaction at a pressure plate concealed in the stone floor.
You all right? I won't serve you if you're already drunk, you know.
He squints at you. Is it that mysterious woman in the room that we haven't done anything with, but she's clearly mysterious?
Yes.
You want to talk to me again?
Didn't think there was anything more than lice and hoarfrost to these folk, but you had a look back there. What do you find when you're rooting around like that?
The fabric of a soul.
Yeah? And I'll bet you could do the same to anyone in this village. Easy as looking at him.
You seem rather interested in these villagers all of a sudden. Why?
Mayhap I'm looking for someone. Woodcutter, by the name of Harmka.
This doesn't have anything to do with Colt Morn, does it?
It sure does.
Her fingers tighten into fists, the metal squealing and rattling.
He was one of them. The mob that destroyed Cold Morn. I tracked him to Stalwart years ago, but got caught before I could finish my business.
Dark iridescent whorls appear and fade in her chest plate. Heat ripples from her metal carapace. Sounds like there's more to it. This one's personal for you.
This man, Harmka. I saw him outside my house the night it burned, staring into the flames the way I seen you stare into souls.
Her fists clench and loosen in a series of rapid, random movements.
I knew it were a fool's errand trying to hunt down every man and woman that carried a torch into Cold Morn. But
She twists her head from side to side and holds up a hand, the delicately engraved palm empty but grasping at something.
If I knew I got the one responsible for my kin and my hearth, I might could rest easy.
How could you be so sure it's that Harmke fellow?
I took a good long look that night. Ours was a little place with a yellow door right on the edge of town. He was there.
She nods slowly.
Besides, I asked around when I first got to Stalwart. Townsfolk said that all the woodcutters in town took part in the purge. Point of pride for them.
A small plume of heat raises from a seam in her skull. What does this have to do with me?
I told you he was part of the mob. I spotted him watching my house when it burned. But when we find him, I want to know if he's the one responsible for my home, my parents, and my brothers and sister.
One of her thumbs rubs absently at a scratch on her hand.
I never thought I'd have the chance to know for sure. But you could look into his soul and find out. You being a watcher and all.
Finding out might be getting your hopes up. How would you feel about a solid hunch instead? I'll do what I can.
Mighty fine of you. Mighty fine indeed.
She nods again, her head bobbing along into a drowsy cadence.
Don't know where he dallies these days, but someone in Stalwart could tell us. People from little villages, they always know.
Oh boy.
Something I can do for you? Halfrick's got me straightening the rooms, but I'll help you if I can.
Read her soul. You feel for Owana's essence and almost instantly find yourself wrapped in darkness. It takes you a moment to realize that you've purged into a very old memory. But as your eyes adjust to the torchlight, you find yourself standing in a gloomy tunnel that you instinctively recognize as part of Durgan's battery. A handful of figures in patchy cloaks and hoods, dwarves like you, hunch over a minecart. They're loading it with cloth-wrapped bundles from which you can see the occasional flash of metal, the edge of a blade of the burnished glow of a plate. The other dwarfs scurry in with a mixture of haste and caution. They stack the bundles in a din of muted clangs and thumps, following the echoes of their ruckus down the tunnel with nervous eyes. Pay attention!
Pay attention!
Oh.
Sooner we get this done, sooner we can go.
Your voice is a dry whisper, and your nerves tingle with energy. You feel the same apprehension that the others do, but unlike them, you relish it. Still, you look over your shoulder, just in case.
We're hurrying, Captain Gregor. Honest.
When you turn back, the others have redoubled their efforts, and you feel a pleasurable twist in your gut as they fill the cart. Being captain of the guard doesn't pay much, but it does allow you to visit the armory without raising eyebrows, and with Coinmaster Zoltan selling off half of the battery's arsenal, who's going to notice a few more missing pieces? Besides, you've got a buyer lined up, as long as you can move those goods out of the battery before someone squeals. As you surface from the memory, you realize that an awakening will be permanent for Owena. There may be others in town you could waken instead. You look up to find Owena staring at you.
Ma'am? Excuse me, ma'am? You all right?
Her head is cocked and her brow is furrowed. No.
Yes.
Not that one.
Ten Pond says she trips them.
You're awful.
The hero of the hour, he laughs. Hedfrick sent you down to check on us. We ain't causing trouble. On my word. Who are you? Tenflig, he raises his mug. Humble fisherman. Though with the ogres coming down all the time, well, I'd sooner fish for a truth down a bottle for the time being. I'm looking for a man named Hamak. If the ogres didn't get him, I expect you'd find him chopping wood for the stockade right about now, out in the russet wood.
Well, what are we waiting for?
Don't worry. We're not looking to murder him or anything.
He winks at you. What are you playing? Dozens? Care to test your luck? Each of us puts down 50 pans. 3 wins and you take the 100. Could explain the rules if you like. What are the rules? It's simple enough. Winner takes all. We roll 3 dice each. Get 3 4s and that's that. The dozen. Beats all the other rolls. You roll anything else that sums to 12, that's the towers. Second best. You roll and you get triples, that's a godhammer. You get a pair, that's witnesses. 1, 2, and 3. The saint is the saint, that's the lowest. Any other roll is talkers, doesn't amount to anything, so you roll the dice again. You get it? I'll play. Tallyford reaches up and together his dice. Right, here we go. Coins on the table. Pay the 50. I'll let you go first since you're new. You cast the dice. 1, 4, 6. Talkers. 3, 4, 6. Talkers. 5, 5, 6. Witness. Value 6. Tallyford rolls the dice. 1, 1, 6. Witness. Value 6. Looks like we're evenly matched. Let's go again. Tallynag reaches forward to gather up his dice. Even so far. Go on then. 1, 4, 5. The talkers. 1, 2, 6. Talkers. 3, 3, 6. Towers. Value 6. 3, 5, 6. Talkers. Tallynag grumbles and picks up his dice again. Tallynag rolls the dice. 1, 6, 6. Witness. Value 1. Damn, your towers beats my witness. The round is yours. Tallynag reaches forth to gather up his dice. Ready? 4, 5, 5. Witness. Value 4. Talkers. 1, 2, 2. Witness. Value 1. Damn, your witness beats my witness. The round is yours. Tallynag reaches forward to gather up his dice. This is it now. You go first. 2, 2, 5. Witnesses. Value 5. He rolls a talkers. Talkers. The saint. Damn, the witness beats my saint. The round is yours. And then I win. Don't get too smug now. I'll beat you next time.
Oh?
Oh, yeah. For a moment, your senses are overwhelmed. There is a fumbling in your hands. There are fumbling hands at your belt and your own laughter in your ear. And low laughter in your ear. Your shoulder is jammed up against the cabinet, and it rattles every time Wethuin leans down to kiss you. There's a sudden pleasure to the memory, but nothing in it has much to do with the battery. Okie dokie.
Oh?
Yeah. Oh? So there's that woman at the bar. Or in the room, sweeping the rooms. Rip. I got a robot. Oh, my chat's all the way down there. That's not where my chat belongs. Oink. Yeah, I got a robot. There she is. Yeah.
Right here.
I take it you've met Galvino.
Reginald glances at the Devil of Kark, her eyes narrowing. I'm gonna examine this woman's soul. Your awareness settles beneath Reginald's skin. You feel yourself looking through her eyes upon a time-faded memory. You're standing in the inn. The room is stifling. But it's the body heat of so many furious villagers, not the neglected fire pit, that's drawn sweat from your pores. Your husband waits by the door, about as far as he can get from the assembly. He holds Uldric, whose cheeks are bright as he watches the adults bicker with wide, fearful eyes. You've never realized how badly your neighbors stink, but something rank and repulsive rises from them as they pack together in this room. It's fantasy-based, so
How much did the old snake pay you, Sina Healed?
So, the robot is a... How do I explain this? There is a level of technology that comes with animancy, and they make constructs. So a lot of the constructs that we've come across so far have been reanimated corpses, but we came across someone who was making metal constructs, and has a very successful one. Thus, she is the equivalent of a robot, I would say. It's Grenadier, the head fisherman, jabbing a furious finger towards the back of the room. Senhode, the erstwhile mayor, squirms in a corner, pinned by the accusing stares of the entire village. Oh, those eyes, those cruel porcine eyes, and they're watching Seinhold with the dumb gluttony of hogs staring at fodder. The only sight that turns your stomach more is Seinhold himself trying to wriggle free of his own lies.
Maestro Galvino and I came to an agreement. It was for the good of Stalwart. I thought...
You thought you'd let a killer walk among us?
A woman in the middle of the crowd waves her fist. Cries of fierce agreement rise from the others. What began as a collective grumbling is swelling and congealing like storm clouds. You look back at your husband, and he's whispering to Uldric, but when you catch his eye, he directs a silent supplication to you.
Let's go.
A wet smack draws your attention back to the other end of the room. Someone's thrown a potato, and Sireherd cringes and rubs his jaw. You want to shout at them all for this nonsense and waste, but you know this is about to get worse. Stalwart will have blood, and Galvino and his horror had the sense to flee already. You turn again, and your husband is beckoning you with a swift, chopping motions. But what stops your breath is Uldric. His little eyes are fixed on the churning mob, and you knew ever since you started hearing about those hideous purges that he'd see something like this one day. But it'd have to be so soon? It's what drove the devil woman to madness, and now his little eyes have gotten big, big enough to swallow the whole scene, and now he's seeing you as a part of it. You want to leave now, but if you do, this is what your boy will remember. Cowardice and madness. About people, about Stalwart, about you. The people around you jostle and bark in their rage. They're dangerous animals, but animals nonetheless. They just need to be led. So you push your way to the end of the room, where someone trembles in a puddle of his own piss.
Enough.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. Your voice boils up from your throat. The others fall silent, watching you. They listen, dumbly trusting as you turn Seinhold's death sentence into an exile. No one contradicts you when you explain that he's going to march out of this village alone and into whatever miserable hamlet that will have him. They silently agree when you explain that their hands are too clean for the likes of him. Alright, bye-bye! But there's something else forming behind their eyes, a kernel of trust and dependence. You feel it curdling around you, encasing you like a pearl does sand. You only wanted to spare Conehold's life, not volunteer for his job, but you see so much fear stemming just beneath their expressions. Fear at godmen marching through the mountains, at Direwoodians and their purges, at dying the slow and lonely death of a ghost town. And you see their grateful reassurances mirrored in Uldric's expression. Perhaps this place is hopeless, but you realize you can't leave it any more than you could leave your boy. The only person who isn't looking at you is your husband. He's shaking his head, his eyes on the door. You retreat from Renegel's memory, vivid though it is. It has nothing to do with Durgan's battery.
What's on your mind?
Nothing.
Certainly.
Something else you need?
Oh, it's gonna be you, isn't it, my boy? You reach for Uldric's essence and find yourself staring at a fence post lying in a filthy slush of frozen mud. Snow gathers around your legs and trickles into your boots. A wind nips at you even through the layers of fur. You hold the wood chisel in one numb hand and a mallet in the other. Kneeling over the fence post, you get to work. Half an hour after hour, you hammer away, feeling the tools grow heavy in your grip as breath fogs your vision. You want to do better work than this. You can do better work than this. But no one's building new houses in Stalwart. The last table you crafted was put into the fishery, and pike entrails now trace the fine dovetail joints you so lovingly carved. Now you mend the stockade, because that's what's needed. The chisel slips, skidding along your hand. You gasp. But you hold up your hand and see, much to your relief, all 5 fingers wiggling back at you. You need to get out of this town. You pull back from Uldric's soul. He's still staring into the fire, seemingly lost in his own memories, too. Okay, I'm glad it wasn't him.
Got to speak up? My hearing ain't what it was.
You feel her essence humming and buzzing. Another personality and set of memories lies dormant within her soul, convulsing as if in fitful sleep. The contours of that dormant soul are sharp, ragged, and as you reach for it, it seizes you violently. You're standing in the darkened feast hall. Sturdy tables and benches have been stacked against the door at the far end of the room. You know it won't be enough. A few dozen other dwarves from your huddling crew wait with you, shovels and pickaxes in their shaking hands.
Sinove, please. If we go now, we can get behind the barricade. We won't do any good here.
He's right, and you hear agreement in the quiet murmur of the others. But Arms Warden Maroon ordered you to hold your ground here. Yet in those rising whispers you hear the opening bars of mutiny. You've never tolerated insubordination from your crew, and you aren't about to start. So you heft your pickaxe and swing it into the man's skull. He collapses, and the others fall silent. The acrid odor of urine rises from his body. You're
We're
gonna
go down fighting. Anyone who feels differently can settle it with me right now.
Your voice is hoarse from hours of shouting orders, but no one else moves. They cast their eyes down in the flickering torchlight. Something thuds against the door. The others raise their weapons. Picks, shovels, and a few swords. But they don't dare flinch. Your own pulse pounds in your temples. You pull back from Tina's soul, but you feel Zome's wrath and ferocity tugging at you still. Her essence thrashes, lashing out at an unseen enemy. Xenovoe is powerful, but dangerous too. Her fury has anchored her to old and threatening memories. Tana, however, seems unaware of any of this, and she blinks back at you with cloudy, placid eyes. I don't, but I am also a little ill today, so I cannot stay longer if necessary. We're gonna come back to that one. I think that's a fine one because it's a battle. The battle she probably died in, but she's a fierce lady. Thank you. I will try. I woke up feeling like it was the Sunday morning after a Saturday night anime convention, which is the equivalent of feeling like an actual dumpster. But I will persevere. Oh, that is okay.
Me and Sledge are thinking about heading down, joining a caravan over to Dawning.
So what?
Dawning? What for? You like your ogres bigger?
We'd have work at least, and I'm damn sick of fish.
I don't know if corn soup will make me feel better. I feel like it perhaps might do the opposite.
What are you doing here?
Whoa, hey. He's speaking to you, but his furious stare is fixed on the devil of Karak. I'm gonna read your soul first. I don't think so. I don't think that's true. As you reach for Ganon's essence, you find yourself wrapped in the cold embrace of a snowstorm. You trudge through the snow, each dip laborious to your numb feet. You keep your head down against the wind, and your back is bent under a heavy burden. Ahead of you is a frozen lake and the hole you made in it. Your feet crunch over the ice, you wait, and secretly hope for the telltale crack beneath you. With the village distant and dark behind you, you would sink and none would know. At least, that would free you of the heavy, churning feeling in your gut. Yet you reach the hole, and the ice is still steady under you. You heft the burden off your shoulders, cradling her in your arms. She's wrapped in nets and weighted with stones. You wish one of the priests of Andor were here with solemn words and the assurance of ceremony. Instead, you slip her bracelet off her wrist. Andor will have her body, and you will carry this reminder. You slide the bundle into the water and watch it sink. As it dwindles to nothing more than a dark stain beneath the ice, you feel a scratching in your throat, and you hear the wind moaning in your ear. It takes you a moment to realize you're hearing your own voice muttering. You surface from the vision. Whatever it is, it has nothing to do with Durgan's battery. Okay. I don't want to be mean to this man. Okay. Nothing right now. Ed boy? Thank you. I will try not to. I'll make it my goal not to stay up too late. I do think that's why I don't feel particularly well. It's my own fault. Imagine. Hello?
Welcome.
Theric's soul is vibrant, stolid thing, and as you reach out for it with your senses, you see your breath begin to fog in the air. You find yourself far above the ground, wedged into a juncture of two branches. The moonlight is bright upon the snow, and in the distance your quarry steps out into the ice as if on an illuminated stage. You steal your breath and draw back your arrow. Warmth bleeds back into your limbs, frost and snow giving way to the smoky interior of Thalic's home.
Welcome.
Nope. I think I've pretty much been everywhere, and everywhere that I haven't gone to. Oh! Dark Souls 3 till 9 a.m. You do what you gotta do. So, I think I've talked to everyone that I can possibly talk to, and I would say that that old woman is probably the best person to go to about all this. And I'll awaken her soul, and then maybe we'll wrap it up, depending on how long that conversation is.
Got to speak up? My hearing ain't what it was.
Awaken, Zenova, and remember your battle in the feast hall. A tremor passes through Tiana's face, and then her rumpled skin goes slack. After a racking cough, she blinks like someone slowly coming to consciousness.
That name. It carries memories of death, war, fury, the taste of blood. What do you want with it?
Her eyes have grown unusually clear. If she attacks and I have to punch out an old lady, I don't want to hear about it from anybody. There was nothing I could do. I need to enter Durgan's battery.
What trickery is this, stranger? You think a Pargrin would so easily betray her own people?
Her hands clench and unclench around an imaginary weapon. Zenov's essence stirs within the same battle-ready fury you sense in her memory. From Durgan's battery, she's dangerous. Beneath Zenov, Tiana's overwhelmed consciousness struggles. You'd never betray Durgan's battery. Your loyalty is plain to see.
You speak like one who knows me.
Her fury abates, and confusion seeps in its place. You test its counters for purchase.
Then you're not one of Zoltan's visiting merchants, or Exandru's foreign zealots. You're one of us.
Even as Zoma speaks through the old woman, you feel Tenia's conscience recover and steady herself. I haven't been inside Durgan's battery. That's why I need your help. Suspicion is plain on her face, but a chant bursts from her lips, seemingly of its own accord. Hammers of Durgan ring loud. May the anvil's deep music resound. Walls of the battery safeguard our works from the moderate and wilder alike. Abaldon's faithful travel by the forge and the fires that brighten the ore. She takes a deep breath and her eyelids droop. Inside the old woman's body, the personalities and memories of Zanvar and Tiana vie for dominance. Zenvar is wresting full control from Tiana, and you feel the old woman's personality nearly smothered beneath Zenvar's intensity. Tiana fades with every passing second, but it may be possible to pull her to the surface. Apparently I cannot. Oh. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I push Tiana's essence down, allowing Zenov to fully emerge. Zenov seizes control with a ferocity that jolts Tiana's frail limbs. She looks up at you, and her furious gaze is of one of a woman still lost in violent, distant memories. It's too much for Tiana's dying consciousness. It shrivels and vanishes as Zova, now in full control of Tiana's body, attacks. Ah, fuck. Well, I guess the only thing I can do is take everything of value in here. That didn't. I need to stop killing old women in this game. I didn't want to do that. Oh God, Ella, I'm glad this isn't like
First, your neighbors hound you because you say the wrong prayers at supper time.
If it wasn't that, it'd be something else. Just their way of letting you know they care.
Then some cross-eyed lord gets to stringing up your neighbors.
A couple of them were ones that had been hounding me, so that worked out at least.
Oh?
Oh? Oh yeah, how was it? Did you like 6 snipers?
Back to warm your hands, eh? Top quality bear pelt.
Yeah, classic Overwatch was rough. Why won't it let you say Hanzo? Why is Hanzo a bad word?
Oh.
It wouldn't let. Twitch was like, "Hey, hold on, you can't just be saying Hanzo's name in here. You can't just be saying those gamer words." What does it say about Genji? No, Q permitted. Q allowed. Q allowed the the Hanzo's name. Oh, well, there you have it. Yeah, Carly. Q let Hanzo go through. she she permitted the Hanzo. That's so funny. Bastion should also be
There.
banned.
You were a military man. Ever consider making a career of it?
I did for a while. Then I heard you could make money shoveling pig shit. And thought that sounded better.
Well, at least it would get you out of the deer wood.
That has not changed. I am broken again. Yeah. I have been broken, I think, all stream. I at least know what the problem is. Oh, shit. This is only going to be a problem, I think, for a couple more weeks during the Pillars of Eternity stream. It's because the lighting, it's too dark. It's too dark for the camera to pick up, and then the shadows are too harsh when I turn on the light. So she's stuck.
That caravan must have had a half-ton of steel. Coinmaster Zoltan's finally getting his way.
I need like a lamp behind me. Which I might be able to finagle. Or I just kind of need to move my whole space around a little bit. Yeah, I need to do the same. We already heard all this when we died. And
folk round here say the batteries swallowed more adventurers than the ogres. Thought you'd want to know.
Thanks. Place the anvil in the tile of the relief. Hammers of Durgan ring loud. Oh shit. Walls of the battery. Hmm. Strike the anvil. Walls of the battery. And then Amal's Faithful by the Forge of the Fires. There we go. Fire catches the warm vapor with a billowing whoosh. The dragon's eyes are alight, and the flames lick the edges of its mouth. A few seconds later, the panel is sliding away from you as the two enormous doors swing open into a grand hall. This is actually quite exciting. Yeah, I need to do something with the lighting behind me, because that'll make everything better. But I'm in a weird spot that I can't really have a light behind me. I'll figure it out. Otherwise, Casa just breaks sometimes. Such is life. Alright, I will have to stop here because I am at time. And then tomorrow, we'll do the battery, which is really, really exciting. Maybe Casa will fix herself as I, Casa, why you break? I will be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. EST with more Darkest Dungeon, and I will be back with more Pillars of Eternity at 6 p.m. EST. I have forgotten. Thank you so much for being here and watching. If you're looking for more of what I do, you can find me on Twitter, which will give updates if I suddenly die again or anything like that. Or if you're looking for the beginning of this series or any of my other series, you can find those on YouTube, all of which are linked below, along with everyone who's helped make this stream possible. Thank you so much to them and to you for being here. I will see you tomorrow. Until then, have a lovely, very lovely evening, and goodbye.